After all day of shooting, either you're a filmmaker or a photographer, there's time to move the files from your camera to the computer. I would say there are 3 stages. When you're starting in digital imaging, you probably don't mind waiting a few minutes longer for copying the files. You just want a compatible reader for your cards, so basically you just want to be able to copy them. The second stage is when you've got tons of files to copy. You know that each minute of your time is valuable and you just want to do it as fast as possible, maybe without breaking a bank here. So you're looking for the fastest and most affordable reader. The third and final stage is when you want transfer not only to be as fast as possible, but also you want a comfortable and elegant reader on your desktop without searching for ports in the back of your computer. And here you don't mind paying a little more for that comfort of use and look. Kingston Workflow Station with its modular build got you covered in both second and third stage. Let's take a closer look at their USB hub and SD card reader. I'm Tomasz Walczak and welcome to Beyond the Time. How can one product be both fast and affordable, as well as comfortable and more expensive? Here we have Kingston with its modular design. The workflow station is a component that is designed to stand on your desk. It doesn't have any card slots by itself. For that you need additional card readers. The box with the workflow station contains a USB mini hub with USB 3.2 Gen 1 and USB-C. To make it a card reader, you buy card readers separately. There are 2 available. You can get either one with 2 micro SD slots or one with 2 standard SD slots. It would be cool to have maybe a SATA drive module, but for now we need to use USB for that. In the docking station there are 4 slots in which you can put the readers. Each one has a USB-C at the bottom to connect. And now you have 2 options to use the readers. You can use it in the docking station or just connect it with the provided USB-C to USB-C cable directly to the port on your computer. Why do I think that's a great idea? Each reader costs about $35, which isn't that much for a fast USB 3.2 card reader. However, the docking station is $130. If you're at stage 2, so you want an affordable and crazy fast card reader, you get just the reader itself and use a cable to connect it to the computer. What would convince me to choose this one is that when I get to stage 3, so I don't mind spending more money to get a nice looking and very comfortable solution, I could just buy docking station and use the readers that I've been using on their own. It's the same thing that I liked about the SIRP motion control system in my review. I can buy some parts of that, maybe 2 Genie Minis, because that's what I can afford now, but when I get maybe some new well-paid gig, I know that I don't have to sell those to expand my kit for 3-axis movement. I just get Genie Linear and everything works together flawlessly. Same here, I don't have to buy new readers, just get the docking. Of course, the most important factor in such readers is speed. We'll test it in a minute. Now let's take a look at build quality. The docking station has a nice weight, so it stays firmly on the desk. I like that. Bear in mind that it needs external power, so you have 2 cables here. USB-C to USB-C to connect it to the computer and power supply that you need to plug into the wall. The readers, on the other hand, are very light. Maybe it's a good thing for travelers, but because of that, they feel very plastic in hand. The readers installed in docking station look very nice to me. There are Kingston logos everywhere, but we can put them another way and we have clean grey plastic. Installing the reader is fairly important in such product. The installation is very well designed. One little flaw I see here is that the readers could fit a bit more tighter in the base, because they can slightly wobble. Not a big deal, it's visible only when you touch it, but as I said earlier, I consider the docking station as something that people buy to get very stylish and well-made way to use card readers. Generally, beside those little flaws, I'm pretty happy about the build quality. Now let's jump into the most important thing for card readers, so speed. I've tested this reader against my USB 3.0 card reader that I've been using until now, and a built-in card reader in my Dell laptop. And I knew that it would be better than my old reader, but I'm quite surprised it's also better than the reader in my laptop. I was copying exactly the same amount of data, about 80 gigabytes. Half of that were stills, half video. Both on PC and laptop I was copying those data to fast NVMe M2 SSD drive, so we won't get a bottleneck when it comes to drive speed. With Kingston Workflow Station, the process took a little less than 6 minutes, with speed about 290 megabytes per second for the first half, which were video files, and about 210 megabytes per second for the second half, stills. So what's interesting is that video files copy faster for some reason. Using a USB 3.0 card reader, I got speeds about 80 megabytes per second for stills and about 90 megabytes per second for video files. So again, video files are faster. Generally, using the same card and with exactly the same data, we have to wait 3 times longer for the files to copy. With this one, the process took about 16 minutes. So 16 minutes versus 5 minutes. With a built-in laptop card reader, I got the same speed as with the USB 3.0 card reader. As the last test, I've tried the card reader provided in a kit with the Kingston fastest card line. I mean, every time you get this card, you get a small card reader using USB 3.0 in the package. I've tried that on my PC and laptop, and I got the same speeds as on the Workflow Station, so about 6 minutes of copying and over 200 megabytes per second speed. We can see here that we get some similarities in reading speed. And there is a simple solution to why that happens and why a small card reader that we get for free with a card is as fast as the big USB-C Workflow Station. Beside the USB version that the card reader uses, we have different SD card standards. In this case, difference between UHS 1 and 2 interface. Let's start this story from a brief introduction of why I got the fastest Kingston card available, the Canvas React Plus series with a speed of 300 megabytes per second. When I bought Sony a7S III, which is a video-centric mirrorless camera, all my current SD cards were too slow to record anything higher than 4K 60p, so I needed faster cards. First, I got Sony TUF series cards, which is of course recommended by Sony, and it's crazy expensive as for an SD card. After a few weeks, I found that people also use the Kingston card and it's half the price, so I got it and I can recommend it to everyone who has a7S III. The same performance for half the price. Those cards have one visual difference from my previous cards. They have 2 rows of contacts, which is characteristic for UHS 2 standard cards. This lets the card be faster than UHS 1 cards, so those with only 1 row of contacts. Now, as we have different cards, we also have different readers, and not all of them will use the second row of the contacts. And I believe this is what we have here. Kingston Workflow Station and the reader provided with a card has the ability to use the UHS 2 standard and the card reader I owned previously and that from the laptop don't. This proves the Kingston SD card I bought for A7S III was an even better deal than I thought previously, because the Sony card doesn't come with a card reader. But let's get back to the Workflow Station. As we proved, this reader will use the full potential of your card. With slower cards, you won't get the same speeds as I have. However, in the built-in reader in the laptop, the transfer speed was limited by the reader speed. With Kingston, transfer is limited to what your card is capable of. As I proved, the reader provided with a card can be as fast as the station, and for sure is a great option if you don't want to spend more money. In Workflow Station you're getting more slots and you can transfer files from multiple cards at once. Bear in mind that you will get slower transfers using more devices simultaneously. Using two UHS 2 cards, the same I used for the previous tests, the speed drops drastically. The biggest advantages of the Workflow Station is that it's comfortable to use and it looks nice on the desk. For sure, it's not a device that is necessary for your work, but maybe it's something that you want to make your everyday work a little more productive and pleasant. On the other hand, the Kingston Canvas React Plus SD card series is probably the most affordable super high-speed card that you can buy, and I would recommend it to everyone who needs a card with a V90 rating and 300 MB per second speed. And that is it. I hope you find this review useful. If so, please consider subscribing to my channel, especially if you're interested in time-lapse photography, which I teach in many of my tutorials here. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.